Hello and welcome to our basic Emis instructional videos. We're going to start with a basic overview of Emis, and when you first log in you will see the home page, and this is what it will look like. To get to your home page you can click on that button there. You can send a screen message, and interestingly just as I record this you can see I've got one here. You can find a patient, you can add a new user task, you can go to your appointment book, you can look at care history, see a patient's consultations, their diary entries, investigations. This is where you lock your screen, for example, if you're leaving your desk. You can look at the medication. This is a link to patient.co.uk. This is one that I've added on separately, which won't be there as standard, which is the population reporting. You can print things, look at problems, registrations, summaries, and workflow manager. So if we start by having a look at an appointment book. So this is a date. And there should be no patient data shown on any of these videos we do, as nobody is booked into my diary. So you can see that is my whole day slot on the 23rd of August. When patients are booked in here, you can see their names, and I'll book one in a second. You've got different types of appointments, so we have telephones, admins, coffee breaks, face-to-faces, and the same in the afternoon. You can click on a different day on the calendar to look at a different day's diaries. You could also change it from looking at just myself to choosing a staff member, looking at the daily surgeries, which in our practice would include AMPs and GPs, just to doctors, nurses and other patients, and you see other people's appointments on the screen. I won't show you those because they may well contain other patient data, but I know today's day on my diary is clear. What I'm going to do is pause the video again, and I'm going to book in a test patient into this slot, and then we can show you what some of these buttons all look like on an active patient. There you go. So this is by magic at Stuart Test Trust Transfer. A dummy patient, it has been booked in for me at 11:30 on that day. You can initially see he's a fake patient, a test patient, because he is brown here. He also has a red PDS, which is the NHS spine, because he is a fake patient, not a real one. You can see the reason why he's been booked in here. If we double click on him, he becomes active, and then these buttons now link to this patient here that you have active. So if, for example, we click on his consultations, you can see here that all of these consultations have happened on this test patient. So you can see it's all playing around, and you can play around with any test patient. You're not going to cause any damage or break any systems. They are there to be played with and tested with and do with whatever we want to. So you can see my name appears on here quite a lot as I do all these videos and show people how to use Emis. You can look at his medications by clicking on that button, and the first list you will see will be the active medicine page. So he's had these as acutes, and he's had these items added to his repeat list. His allergy status is down here at the bottom, and you can also add screen messages here for allergies, whatever you want to say, for example, whatever you wanted to put on there. So then that would be as a message to other prescribers. This is his QOF box. So for example, this gentleman, we would need to record his ethnicity, get a target for his HbA1c. I'm going to move those off screen just so we can see for the videos. You can see here that his medication review is currently in date. When it's out of date, it goes to being red. If you want to have a look at his past drugs, you click on this button here, and it would show you everything that he's been prescribed. You can see all of his recoded problem entries, starting with active problems, significant past, and then just minor ones. You can see all of his investigations here, and these in a live patient would be significantly bigger, and they'll all be linked to our hospital lab service, which is on the ICE platform. If you wanted to access ICE, you would click this button and it would take you into the hospital lab system. You could see all the hospital blood results as well. You can see his care history as well. So for example, if you wanted to look at his immunisations, you could click on that button, it'd tell you all those. Any family history, allergies again is written there, so there's a few different bits, but that's the one I mainly use that button for. You can look at his diary, so this would tell you anything that's due. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a weird thing in Emis that when you have a test request, this seems to stay on the diary, so ignore all of those there. But you can see his planned coming items. If it's out of date, it's red. Any active tasks on that patient, and any appointments here. You could have a look at any documents that he has. So there's still people playing around with adding letters on, and when you click on it, it'll open in the separate portal called Docman, which we can have another video on. If you want to look at if he's had any referrals, they would be all on this page, which he hasn't as a test patient. If you wanted to send a task for this gentleman, you would click on the button here, and you could send a patient note attached to that patient name to whoever you wanted to send it to, say the recalls team, and you might say, please invite in for drug monitoring or whatever it is that you want to send them, and then you could send, and that task has gone off to that person. If we go back up to this top line, also if we've got, so that's the quick link into his diary page, the quick link into his investigations, his medicines, and then this button takes you to his registration documents. And the only thing I ever use this one for as a GP is to look at that button there, the family and relationship links, and if there's a next of kin documented, it'll also be here. So I use that a lot for my nursing home patients and housebound patients looking for their family links. But that is a basic overview. The only thing I've forgotten to show you is the panic button. The panic button is up here in the corner. That's it for the basic overview, and you can see some of the videos for the different bits in more detail.